What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. After the last video we did regarding our top 10 cards that we thought deserved to have SPRs within the respective sets, it got me kind of thinking about how SPRs have progressed over the series. From the very first set, all the way to the newest sets, to the theme boosters, SPRs always have fantastic art. So I thought we'd go ahead and take a look back at all the SPRs in each set and rank them according to which set we thought had the best SPR art. Coming in at number 13 is a bit unfortunate, but a bit kind of expected as well, is Set 1 Galactic Battle. Not that there was anything wrong with this art, and I mean, it was fantastic art. I especially loved the Goku and the Broly, despite the fact that I don't care for Broly. But the card art themselves was pretty good. The foiling was phenomenal. However, with it being the first set, obviously, they had nothing else to go off of, and these cards, in comparison to the other cards in the set, were obviously the best-looking cards in the set. However, compared to every other set that came after them, they just, I don't know, something about them just falls short. It's not so much the foiling itself, it just feels like the art. Coming in at slot number 12 is going to be Set 3 Crossworlds. I was kind of mixed on this set just because this set has some pretty fantastic art, but it also has some not so fantastic art. First of all, the foiling is great. Similar foiling to set 1 and 2 with the ridiculous amount of gold. However, they added in so many extra colors that it kind of took away from that gold factor, with the exception of Explosive Spirit Son Goku. And while I love the art on this card, I love the art on Hyper Rush Vegito. The art on the Ultra Instinct Goku and the Fu Shrouded in Mystery, they just kind of, they're lacking to me. And the foiling, while not terrible, it just kind of didn't make up for what I felt was kind of the downgrading in art style. Coming in at number 11 was Set 4, Colossal Warfare. Now, this set had some really good art, and I had to rank this one kind of a little lower just because there were other things I wanted to rank higher. However, I love the Piccolo art, and the foiling's fantastic. Same thing with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Again, it just kind of had similar appeal to Set 3 in the fact that you had all that gold, but you had all the other colors too, which kind of took away from the gold. And that's kind of what I liked about the foils in Set 1 and 2. The Haida Mastery Goku, the art's not terrible. I feel like the coloration is a little bit not to my liking. And same thing with the Temporal Darkest Demigra. It just wasn't in the direction I would have preferred to see. Coming in at number 10, we had the SPR art for Theme Booster 2 World Martial Arts Tournament. Now, this one I had a little bit of a hard time trying to place just because the art was great. The fact that they took the link cards and, you know, put them together to where the two cards next to each other formed this fantastic art was a phenomenal idea, and really I would love to see more stuff like this. Two reasons that the cards just didn't stack up is because, in a way, by themselves the cards were kind of eh. Like, I mean, the Hercule's okay by himself, but the Pan, you just got this weird hand out of nowhere. Same thing with the Unyielding Goku. You got Jackie Chun's foot. Now, the Hero and the Piccolo Jr., they work pretty well by themselves. I mean, the art doesn't really cross too much. There is Piccolo's leg on the bottom of the Hero card, but you don't really see that a whole lot. And the Goku and the Vegeta are probably the best out of the set. Although, again, you have their hands kind of crossing the cards. But overall, the art was fantastic on these cards. The foiling itself is kind of what was different and kind of why this one ranked a little lower than it could have. Because not only did, I mean, the foiling was bright and colorful, but at the same time, the foiling wasn't like previous foiling sets. This one had like a really weird gloss texture to it, which felt really smooth to the touch, but it felt weird at the same time. Like it was, I don't know, I don't want to say it felt cheaper, but it felt different, almost like it was, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. And it didn't really look that great on the Proudest or the Unyielding Victory sets. It did look pretty good on the Supreme Showdown duo and even the Destined Conclusion duo. Those ones I liked better, but overall I feel like the SPR foiling could have been better on this set. You can keep the kind of art style with the combined link cards in the future, that would be great, but the foiling, you might want to take a different route. Coming in at number 9, we have the SPRs for Clash of Fates. This was another hard one to place because this is one of my favorite sets, and I'm so glad that theme boosters are coming back, in a way, but this was my favorite of the theme boosters just because you had Bardock's crew. That's literally it. But the SPRs are fantastic. They could have been better, though. Having Newfound Power Purunga just okay, that right there, that's perfect. That's great. Did we need the words on the cards? Probably not. We probably could have done better without those. It was, again, a different spin on the SPR, and I can respect that, and I appreciate that, but maybe without the words. The Piccolo, just, I can win. That was such a great, just funny moment back in the show that, unfortunately, fell flat because Piccolo still got his ass beat. The Gohan, I have issues with this one, just because the Gohan, first of all, he's not even in that, he's not even in that outfit during the Never Take This, I don't think. I think he's supposed to be in the Saiyan battle suit, but even if he's not, why is the SPR art different from the regular Super Rare where he is in the Saiyan battle armor? Like, that inconsistency doesn't really matter too much, but it's kind of an irritating thing that Bandai seems to lack attention to detail for, especially for Tora's red armband. Right there, Tora is clearly beat up. His armor, perfectly intact. Obviously, I understand there's no blood because, oh my god, if there be blood on anything. But his armor is just fine. Little scratches here and there, but his armor was beat the shit out of from that last punch by Dodoria. So that right there, terrible attention to detail in my opinion. The Goku looks great. The Frieza looks great, except for the fact that it hurt. Body change, Piccolo change, that one's cool. Here, Havit's cool. Granted, that needed a comma, but either way, the art on these cards was fantastic. The foiling was fantastic. Maybe we could have just done without the words, though. Coming in at number 8, we have Set 2 Union Forces SPRs. Now, you're probably wondering why, since I put Set 1, 3, and 4 so far on the bottom of the list, why is Set 2 up so high? It's because Set 2 just had something that those sets didn't. I don't really know what it was, but the art on these cards is phenomenal. Vegito and the Cell, especially. I do love the Zamasu. The only thing falling flat here is the Metacooler core, which I don't know how many people really noticed it. It was kind of something I had to point out way back in the day. But it's the exact same art as the Awakened Leader, just with a fuck ton of gold foiling thrown on it. So that's kind of like a really lazy way to do it. But the SPR itself looks fucking amazing. The Vegito, the Cell, the Zamasu, all of those look just fantastic with the gold foiling. And sure, there is the extra color for, you know, the rest of the cards, but it doesn't detract from the gold like with Set 3 and 4. And that's why I like this set a little bit better. Coming in at number 7 is set number 7, which, Assault of the Saiyans, I had mixed feelings about this set, and I really almost considered putting this set higher, but I didn't for a few reasons. The biggest one is these cards are so busy with their art, and I love some of them. The Zamasu, the few Zamasu with Zamasu and Goku Black in the background, the Vegito with Trunks and, or with Vegeta and Goku, the Trunks with Bulma and Mai, like, I love those cards, and the other cards look great too. But there's so much happening on these cards at once that it kind of like, it adds to it, but at the same time, it's just so much going on that it kind of detracts your focus from the initial art itself. I probably think what would have looked better for these is to do these in the same way, but either make the background characters either lighter in color, or not lighter in color, but probably, like, make them in a darker shade so they don't stand out as much. Or, even better, they could have done this the way they did other cards in other sets. It had the background be, like, black with the gold outline. So have the few Zamasu there with all the color, the pink and the purple and shit, and the gold, and then have Zamasu and Goku Black there with the black background and then just the gold outlining. I feel like that could have made these cards look a lot better. Like I said, I love the art on these cards, but there's just so much happening all at once. And having them in different poses was really cool. I do like how they tried to make them all have the same theme, but while making some of them a bit different. It was a smart way to go about it. But again, these cards are just so busy in the art that it really just detracts from the individual art of each card itself. Coming in at number 6 is Set 11, Part 2 of the Unison Warrior series. Now, these sets are really up there as far as art goes because some of the art on these cards is amazing. The Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, the Majin Vegeta, I know everybody loves the art on that card. The Super Saiyan 4 Bardock is just pristine, and the Vegeta looks great too. I do have somewhat kind of issues with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and the Super Saiyan 4 Gohan because they don't have that bright, ridiculously vibrant gold that just is supposed to make the cards stand out. They do have better art than a normal super rare, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of like with other sets that fell lower on this list, where there's so much color there and not so much of the gold, and it doesn't have the same just pop that some of the other SPRs do. The Gotenks, I'm just kind of disappointed in. Like, the art is cool, but again, it's going to fall under the same kind of, like, something's lacking. Like, it doesn't have the true SPR shine. Same thing with the Dark Broly and Garlic Jr. and the Baby. Don't even get me started on that. I've seen enough people complaining about it already, and I agree with them that these cards just really could have been made to look so much better. Coming in at number 5 is Set 10, Part 1 of the Unison Warrior series, and the SPRs in this set are fantastic. My favorites by far have to be the Gotenks and the Super Saiyan Trunks, as well as the Super Saiyan Bardock. The Super Saiyan Vegeta and the Super Saiyan Gogeta, unfortunately, they had the same kind of issues I had with some of the other cards in Set 11, being the fact that they don't have like this, they don't have like an SPR feeling to it. They'll have the foiling, they'll have kind of like the full art kind of-ness, but they just don't have that ridiculous shine, that just punch in the face of art. Like even the Vegeta, the Yamcha, the Frieza, all of those cards have that type of foiling, but the Gogeta and the Vegito don't. The Zeno doesn't, neither does Sin Shenron, which the art on the Sin Shenron just kind of feels lazy to me. I won't get into it too much. It just feels like it's not as, like, they didn't put as much effort into that one. But otherwise, this set had fantastic art all around, and the foiling is fantastic. It just wasn't quite enough to be a little higher up on this list than some of the other sets. Coming in at number 4 is Set 6, Destroyer Kings. This was, in my opinion, one of the pinnacle sets for SPR artwork. Just phenomenal. It had the black backgrounds were really fucking cool, and they went along with the characters that were, in my opinion, really, really brought to the center of the focus of the card. Like, the vibrant pinks to the Majin Boos, to the greens of the Brolys, the gold of Frieza, Shenron, the blue of Gogeta. Like, the cards stood out so fantastically in these art. And it was cool having them in the background as well. Like how Prodigious Absorption had Gotenks in the background, Ultimate Absorption had Gohan in the background, kind of, you know, signifying the characters they absorbed to get to this level of power, while Finishing Blow Son Gohan has Goku in the back, you know, proud as shit, got that smirk. The Brolys are in the background, or even like Enraged Broly in the background of Paragus. Like, these cards, the art just lends to itself, and really, I would love to see more art come down like this, because this is, in my opinion, some really top tier SPR art and foiling. Coming in at 3, we had the predecessor, which was Miraculous Revival, set 5 in the series. This set had, in my opinion, better art than set 6. Now, set 6 kind of took the SPR design from set 5 and tried to expand upon it, but again, it added so much extra color and everything else that it was brighter and more vibrant, but felt a little more busy than these. This set, you still had the characters in the background, which was great. You can't really see them as well in stock images like I've got here, but when you actually have the card in front of you and you can kind of angle it towards the light, you can really see the gold in the background. So you can see the Super Ghosts in the background of Go Tanks. You can see Gogeta in the background of his card, and the cards just look phenomenal. And at the same time, they had bright, vibrant colors like the Janemba. All that purple and red, the pink for his sword, it stands out. Same thing with like the Vegeta, all that green energy around him. It stands out really well, but not enough, not so much that it's taking away your focus from the main art on the card. And to me, I feel like they just did this a little bit better with set 5 than with set 6. Coming in second place was set 8, Malicious Machinations. This was a really hard set for me to place within order. I really just love the art in this set. This was probably, obviously according to the list, one of my favorite sets of SPR. You had, let's break it down individually. The 4 extra cards, the 4 counterplay cards. The art on those is amazing. My favorite one by far is the Focus Breakthrough. Not really so much just because I prefer green. In card art, in card foiling, the green just stands out so much more. To me, it's more vibrant than any of the other colors when it comes to SPR art, or even promo art in general. But that art is just amazing. The Beerus Ball, even the Absolute Release Ball, and the Super Gallic Gun, which I don't care for Android 21 or Baby. But the art on those cards is amazing. Then we've got the other SPR arts, like the Android 18, the Gokus, the 16, where you've got the main character front and center, and then you've got different images of the character in the background, which it kind of feels like it took inspiration from set 7 and just did it better. Sure, the card art looks busy, as it does in set 7. However, to me, the characters in the background, the way they're done in this set, they don't detract from the overall image. They don't take away your focus from the main image of the character on the front, in the center of the card. And this set just had fantastic SPRs. The only ones I don't really care for is Hachiyak and maybe the Android 21. But the rest of the art, or the rest of the characters, they're all just fantastic options. And even now, these cards, the SPRs for some of these cards, including Android 18, who doesn't really even see play anymore, still is up there as almost like a $20 SPR. So the art on these cards is fantastic, and the value reflected in them shows. Coming in the number 1 slot is, of course, going to be set 9. Now, many of you could have seen this coming. Many of you agree with me on this. I've had several discussions with people about this kind of stuff, but set 9 just had fantastic SPRs. And granted, I feel like there were some missed opportunities. Like Cell, for example, really could have been done better, but the Cooler looks absolutely amazing. The Frieza looks amazing. Even the Vegeta looks amazing. But the real reason that I love set 9, the reason why I put it number 1 on my list, was these super combos. First of all, in my opinion, these are the best super combos in the entire game, out of any set. I will run these over anything else, with the exception of if I'm running a Black Leader, because they didn't give us one for that, which is really sad, but every other color is covered. The character selections were interesting. Zamasu, awesome. Beerus and Whis were awesome too. But I mean, they fit their color, the theme. But at the same time, there could have been some other characters that would have looked really great with this. Having Goku Black instead of Zamasu would have been cool. Having 17 instead of 18. I'm actually really happy with the fact that Dr. Gero is one of them. I don't know what it is. Dr. Gero was not that interesting of a character in the show. He didn't have a whole lot of screen time, and he wasn't really that strong either. But there was just something about him. I just liked the character. And then Nappa, it's really cool to see more Nappa stuff. And I am kind of happy they made it Nappa because it's red and green. He comes back to the board, and it kind of goes along with the red and green Saiyan theme from Set 7. So that's really cool too. But otherwise, all of these cards, the SPR art is fantastic. And honestly, I just think that these are the best SPRs we've got in the entire game. And because they are super combos, they're always going to be good. They're always going to have value. Zamasu right now has the highest value out of all of them, which still makes me question why I'm sitting on a playset of them. But the 18 is a really good card too. And even the Dr. Gero is good. Just depends on the deck that you're playing them in. But all of these cards are just very usable. They have great utility. And unless they give us better super combos that do stuff like this and have this kind of ridiculous, amazing SPR artwork, these cards will retain value long into the future of this card game. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have any differing opinions or if you agreed with us on any of our points, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. This was, again, a difficult video to make because some of the art is really fantastic. But in the end, there's always going to be one thing that you prefer over the other. And again, this is personal preference. So if your opinions vary or if your preferences vary, there's nothing wrong with any of that. But let me know what you guys think. We're going to go ahead and get the freak out of here, and we'll see you guys